What's up, powerful leaders? We made it. The Powerful Female Leaders podcast turns 4 year old. That is 4 years of podcasting, and it's just so wild how fast time flies when you're having so much fun. So, in this episode today, I'm going to be talking about the 4 things that I learned in 4 years of podcasting. And it's just so crazy to me because although this year has been very interesting in my personal life, I still released a few episodes, and I'm so glad that I did. Because when I first started the podcast, I had no idea what I would be looking at, what would happen, if people would even listen to the show. It was just an idea, a desire to create a community and a platform for women to share their stories. And little did I know it would grow so much. And me as a person as well, just hosting the show, talking to so many incredible women. It has truly been a true honor and privilege, and I don't take anything for granted. And reaching over 17,000 downloads for me is a clear indicator that the podcast has resonated with you, and it has provided a consistent platform for women to share their stories, their advice, their insights. So before we jump into the meat of this episode, if you've been listening to the show for a while, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. Let me know, why do you love the show? Why do you keep listening? Why do you keep coming back? And yeah, let me know which episode is your favorite. Who would you like to hear from? What your questions are that I could answer in future episodes. I'm a manifesting generator, so the energy you give me is going to fuel me, and I'm going to have so much inspiration to keep going with the podcast. So shoot me a DM. Thank you for being here, and let's start this episode. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. November 2nd, 2020. We were right in the middle of the pandemic. I was starting to take seriously my coaching business. And I was also a little like, there's something missing in my life. Because I wasn't being truly true to myself in a way. Because I always said I was meant for TV, I was meant for radio. And that kind of failed, right? Because that world is so competitive and it's just not for me. Like, the corporate world is not for entrepreneurs, let's be honest. And then when I started my coaching business, I was hearing more and more about podcasting. And I found it really, really interesting because I'm like, oh, podcasting, that sounds like having your own independent radio show where you can do whatever you want, bring whoever you want, and have total control over your podcast, which sounded so fun. I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was talking about, what my dream was. And I don't see myself doing anything else than this and coaching and social media and helping women, right? And let me tell you, I didn't know what I was about to embark myself on. Because podcasting sounds so amazing, but learning all the behind the scenes, all the technicality, all the things you gotta do to run a successful show. Let me tell you, it's not easy. And I feel like that's why a lot of women out there who wants to start podcasting, that's their number one excuse, right? It's like, I'm not a tech person. I don't understand tech stuff. I'm not good at it. And I'd rather just do interviews and be done with it. And that's totally fine. But I know a lot of you listening are like, oh, I've always dreamed of having my own podcast. This episode is to really tell my story of what I've learned through these 4 last year of podcasting. The things that I never really thought of in a way, and the things that really made me go like, wow, I had no idea, no clue this was about to happen, right? So I'm excited to start with that. And at the end, I'm going to share with you a way that you can work with me to really get over that mindset block of podcasting is not for me, when deep down you're like, yes, I do want a podcast. Okay. So I'll let you know how you can do that if you feel called to do that. But the first thing I want to say is podcasting is a long-term project, right? Because we're so used to short-term content that lives on for a day, like stories on Instagram, for example. We don't even realize how powerful long-term content is. Like, it just lives on forever. And it can impact like so many people, so many generations to come. Because the subject that you decide to talk on are still relevant like years from now, right? And sometimes I do listen back on older episodes and I'm like, wow, like I'm still learning something new, because you have new experiences and you've grown as a person. And sometimes listening back, you're like, oh, this part resonates actually, or oh, I haven't like thought of it that way until I'm listening to it now again. And it's just so rewarding also to know that all the hard work you've put in years ago still pays off today. Like, you cannot put a price on that. Like, that's just priceless. Right? You do the work once and you're like done with it, but it still lives on and people still listen to it. And the beauty of it too is that the podcast is listened in so many countries. I think we're at like 90 countries now. So it really transcends, barriers. It goes worldwide. Like, people all over the next side of the globe can listen to it and be impacted by it. And that's the beauty of it. Like, I think about that and it just gives me chills, The second thing is podcasting is powerful when it's branded right. Because when you have a clear mission, you know who you're podcasting for. You have a clear, this is who the podcast is for. This is my goal. This is my vision. I want my audience to listen to the show and have XYZ takeaways that they can bring home, that they can apply and have results from, right? It doesn't matter what the subject is, but if you have that ingredient, you're going to be successful, right? Like, for example, like this year, I'm telling you, like, it's not been easy in my personal life. I've been through ups and downs, and like, I've switched direction. I took a pause in my coaching business. Now I'm doing more social media, UGC content. I'm being paid by brands to give them content. I've helped my own friend entrepreneurs with their content, their portfolios. Like, I've really touched upon so many different revenues and avenues and things that really bring me excitement and like joy. Because of that, because I've been like switching and doing new things, I only published like 5 episodes this year. But the coolest, craziest part is that I still got hundreds of downloads every single week. Like, it's just mind-blowing to me, because I'm like, wow, like, I just posted very little and people are still listening, still sharing, still resonating. So this goes to show that podcasting is all about quality and not quantity, right? We are so used to being told you gotta pump 10 pieces of content a day and this and that, like the old ways of doing things. But to be honest, if you focus on the quality of the content, if you focus on bringing quality guests, on speaking on subject that matters, that, people can resonate with, that is share worthy, that people go like, oh, I want my friend to listen to this. I want this person, like this podcast, this episode is perfect for her. I'm going to send it to her. It's this quality that you're looking for, right? So keep that in mind. That is so important. The third thing I want to talk about is, female leadership, right? That's the main subject of this podcast. The subject you want to talk about, right, is not a one size fits all. And I believe that this podcast thrives when it really embraces the diverse experiences across industries, cultures, personal backgrounds, and really making sure that I make content that is more inclusive, empowering for all women. And that's why I always make sure that I bring guests from various fields. Not only does it enrich the content, but it also expands the reach. And it really introduces fresh perspectives on leadership, on business strategies. So I've come to learn to be very, very picky with who I bring on as guests. And this was something that really was brought to my attention when people wanted to take advantage of me and advantage of the podcast. And I was like, nope. You gotta put on those strong boundaries and be like, I'm sorry, this is not working for me. Like, yes, but no. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will try to take advantage of you if you let them, right? Because they see you as, oh, they're going to do free marketing for me, for my book launch, for this, for that, but that's not the goal at all. Like, you don't want your podcast to become, like a sell fest, right? You want to bring on guests that actually cares about being there, actually cares about sharing their story, and actually cares about impacting people. So this is why I have decided to be really picky. I still receive to this day, like, a lot of emails, like every single day almost, of like, oh, I think this guest would be perfect for you. And all these booking agencies that try to like sell you these guests. And you're just like, bro, I'm done with that. I'm just like, I'm bringing on people that I know personally, that I know they are amazing people, good-hearted people, that have good energy, and that I know the podcast will be awesome. This is really where I drew the line in the sand, and I was like, nope, this is my podcast. I'm running the show, and I'm putting on my boundaries and bringing on guests that have different backgrounds, different experiences, different life experiences. And this is why I think the podcast is so successful. And something to note as well is that it's great to have a podcast, but don't forget to do podcast swaps, right? Because this is how you actually promote your own show. And I will always, always preach and advocate to, all podcasters out there. Make sure you also put yourself out there and really be a guest on other people's shows. It's just a win-win. If you bring a guest and that guest has a podcast, tell them, hey, I'm available to do a podcast swap. Like, I could talk about XYZ. Would you be interested? And every single time I did that, it was so rewarding to also be in the hot seat, right? You're also being interviewed. You're also being asked to share your own story. So it's such a different experience when you're the one asking the questions and when you're the one sitting in the hot seat and actually answering those questions. So it really makes you push yourself outside your comfort zone And you actually learn more about yourself, what you like, what you don't like. But you also get inspired for your own podcast. And you learn maybe new interview techniques. Maybe there's a question that resonated with you that you know you want to ask your own guests. You know, you get that wave of inspiration for your own show. And you also get to promote and talk about your show and your vision and your mission. So it's honestly a win-win for everyone. Last but not least, podcasting will push you to be vulnerable, to share what you're going through, to be honest with yourself and with others. And it's such a scary but beautiful thing at the same time, right? My show has evolved as I have evolved, and you cannot be scared to share the scary parts, the hard parts, the hardships, right? And I feel like people have grown with me through my journey. I have grown with others on their journey. So I think that's the beauty of it. And I think that through that, when you share those actionable tips, those insights that someone else can implement in their personal or professional lives, it's not just about inspiration, right? That's what a lot of this comes down to. People believe that podcasting is just to inspire people, but it's also about offering those tangible tools for growth. And I think that's why I made it a mission for every single guest that I bring on, you know, and I ask them to share, you know, if they have a freebie or a webinar or a guide or a podcast or whatever they have going on that people can go to and get, you know, tangible step-by-step tips as well. Because you're only going to change your life when you're going to take action, you know, on the things that you're passionate about. Which brings me to the end of this episode where I share with you how you can actually make your podcasting dream come true. So I have a special course that I built back in 2020 when I launched my beta version, which is my Podcast from Scratch course. And in this course, I give you everything you need to successfully start and launch your podcast without the overwhelm. So in my course, it's really a one-stop shop to build your own podcast. I give you everything, every single step. You know, the conception, the creation, technicalities, how you actually record your episode, how you actually edit your episodes, how you're going to launch your podcast, how you're going to promote your podcast. Like, I give you every single step. It's on sale right now. I'm going to drop the link in the show notes. Also in that link, there's also a way to schedule a coaching session with me if you're going through mindset things or anything that's keeping you stuck or anything that you have questions about, or if you just want my insight, if you want to audit, whatever it is, you can book an hour with me to talk about your podcast. So whatever you decide to do, if it's the self-paced course that you go at your own pace with all the recordings, or you actually want to book a one-on-one session with me, you can do both, or you can pick one. It's up to you. I trust that you know what's best for you, but the only goal I have here is to support you, be there for you, because I know if you do follow your dreams and launch your podcast, you're going to change the world. And that's my mission, to change the world and make it a better place, right? So that's it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.